So I don't think we have enough women in the COO roles, and we should be focused on getting more women in that role. I also think that we shouldn't stop there, and we should make sure that we get more women to be CEOs, CTOs, CIOs in any of the C-suite level roles. And I think the way that we can get there is that we should try to find opportunities to create opportunities for women at all levels of the companies, in tech companies. When you think about it, though, tech companies are growing and evolving so quickly, and there's no real path for preparation for these roles. For example, when I was in business school, I couldn't have ever prepared specifically for the role of COO. I couldn't have even really imagined that I was going to be at Instagram because Instagram didn't exist at that point. So we really need to think about hiring good, strong athletes to bring them into these tech companies. And then once they're there, any good athlete should engage in cross-training. So we should look at cross-training opportunities.
I love that. This is a cross-training role.
A cross-training role. Exactly what it is. Look for opportunities to give women more exposure to different functions across the company. And let me just give you an example. Just the other day, I took a woman who is in partnerships, and I brought her to an advertising meeting. She learned a ton. She added a ton of value in that meeting, and she was pushed out of her comfort zone and given exposure to a new function that was able to help her imagine where she might want to take her career next. And so I think looking for those cross-training opportunities, giving women more exposure across the company will help prepare them for roles in the future.
So Claire, do you think that this increasing preponderance of women in the COO role, do you think that it is creating a pipeline? Is this a stepping stone for future CEOs? I mean, it is the cross-training analogy is great. You run the whole company in many ways. So do you think this means we'll see more women CEOs in tech?
You know, I'm conflicted about this because, first of all, 33 is great, but it's not that many. There's a lot more tech companies than that. And so
those are only the people that read my article and wrote in.
So more people write in so we can get the data. But I feel like I know plenty of male COOs, and I do think it's a certain capability that has to do with execution clarity and follow through. I also think there's an element of the role that is about caretaking for sort of turning inward to a company and caretaking for its development as an organization and organization building. And I think of the CEO role as often more about the entity of the company externally, or thinking about the product and what you're bringing to the market. I think that varies by company. I do think context switching is a huge part of the role, especially because you are switching sort of between internal and external a lot more in the role. And I believe women have 12% more prefrontal cortex, and we're better at context switching.
That's a fact. Write it down.
So I think that is an advantage for us. But mostly I'm a little worried that it's becoming a meme a little bit, which is get a woman in the COO role, and then it's not a pipeline to CEO.